you can expect over the next 1 to 3 days or so energetically in the world? Well, I'm here to help you with that, my friend. Google one, everyone. I'm Aurea Eden, and this is Daily Energy with Daily Predictions, your news before the news. Google one means good, blessed, and wonderful. It is my way to greet. The day's energy is going to have a mix of business energy in it as well as spiritual energy, because yesterday I was telling you how the business side and the spiritual side of things come together so that we can basically act and get things done. So there's going to be a lot of self-reflecting today, but over the next 1 to 3 days or so, you're going to hear a lot about business and business ventures and such. So that's what we can expect over the next 1 to 3 days or so overall. Also, overall, it's also going to be challenging as I do see mass transition into the spirit. I see specifically urns. I see funerals, these type of things taking place, preparation for funerals, possibly even vigils being held here over the next 1 to 3 days. Of course, it's Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's going to be a situation to where it's a good time for us to release and let go of the things that no longer serve our purpose. And, so that we can bring in the new for the new month that's coming in a couple of days. And because we're at the end of the month, whatever was not collected at the beginning of the month is going to be collected now. And I say that to say, my friend, tonight is just not that night, okay? Tonight is really just not that night. I'm seeing stab victims. I'm seeing court cases over the next 1 to 3 days. I'm seeing bombs, strikes. I'm seeing people being like just violently abused in both in pretty much all ways you can think of, right? I'm seeing like violent acts, and nobody's pretty much, male or female, is not safe. Okay, I'm trying to be coded without having to say everything that I really probably just need to say, but it's like, but I see violent acts, okay, on the level of assault, okay, SAing, okay, is what I'm seeing. And then I'm seeing stabbing, I'm seeing stealing. This is that day. This, not today, but tonight, like later on in, like tonight going into tomorrow, and then tomorrow. It seems like it's going to be a rough day for many, okay, on the level of they're seeing their loved ones, sending their loved ones home, and on the level of, there's violent acts that's going to take place here, is what I'm seeing. And so on the earlier side of things, I'm seeing, we need to focus on our goals that we've set for the next month. Or if we have not set those goals, we need to set those goals so that we can have kind of like a vision for what we want to accomplish next month, as well as aligning that with the dreams, goals, visions, and aspirations that we already have. And so we really want to be purposeful, or try our best to be purposeful in everything that we do. Because if we are not purposeful, then we're being wasteful. We're wasting time. And when we waste time, it's like sometimes we get to a point till we feel like we have been going and going and going for so long, and have nothing to show for it. But when you're purposeful, that's not even possible, because when you're purposeful, you're checking off boxes along the way. You know that there is a process to get to progress. And so you keep going through the process, but you don't lose sight of your dream. You don't lose sight of your goal. You don't lose sight of that vision, but you must see it first. Okay. So, and I would encourage you to envision a better life for yourself. Forget about what it looked like in your past. I would encourage you to create a better life for yourself. That happened then, but dream about your now and your later. Okay, because it brings me to that candy, that now and later, right? Depends on what flavor you're eating, but it has a bit of mixture to it. It starts off sour, but in my opinion, it turns out sweet. And that could be the situation when it comes down to you. And so I'm seeing a lot of meetings and gatherings over the next 1 to 3 days or so as well. Conventions. I've been picking up on a lot of conventions. It seems like a hair show of some sort is taking place or will take place. I'm more so picking up on like Afro community, Afro talk. I'm picking up on that, but I'm seeing fashion and style. I'm also picking up on comedians and jokes and stuff like that, taking precedence in the energy over the next 1 to 3 days. So in the news, we're going to hear things coming up about comedians and jokes and stuff. Okay. Is what we're going to see. And also conventions, meetings. These are meetings with government officials. These are, I keep seeing like a conclave or, like I said, a convention, a conference. And so we're going to see something about that coming up. Especially I'm seeing a meeting in Congress. So over the next 1 to 3 days or so, we're going to hear a lot about Congress. Like I said, government officials meeting up to make decisions on important bills. We also have court cases coming up to where we're going to see those coming to a close, such as we have the Diddy case coming up. I want to say it should be coming to a close over the next 1 to 3 days. And so we should see Diddy in the energy, but not just Diddy, but someone else too, because I'm picking up, I feel like, on multiple court cases here. And it's going to be interesting here. Okay. And I am also seeing that Spirit is encouraging us to stay safe. Okay, stay safe. Tonight is not the night. Spend time with family. Go home. Prepare for your next month. Prepare for work tomorrow. But I wouldn't linger out and about, and I would be very watchful. I would be very, very watchful. I will be very, very cautious. Okay, very much so tomorrow. Okay. Now, there's going to also be humanitarian acts coming in. So we're going to be hearing news about aid being sent out. You might come in contact with someone who is homeless, someone who is in need of something. We're going to hear things been implemented and put in place, policies and procedures and stuff like that being put in place regarding humanitarian acts of some sort, or they're going to be talking about some kind of aid and introducing bills. I'm also picking up farmers. Farmers are going to be affected by this energy. So we're going to see more news coming in about farmers, agriculture, crops, animals. A lot of animal activity over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Pets, I'm seeing pets. We just saw veterinarians. activity in the energy a couple of days ago. That energy's still here. And so it seems like it's intensifying. So there's going to be animal attacks. There's going to be animals in need of assistance. I'm seeing this. And more specifically, I'm seeing animals affected by diseases. And not just animals, but humans as well. Okay, I'm picking up on a lot of sickness over the next 1 to 3 days or so. We talked about the pox or the measles or something like that, but I'm also picking up on sickness. I'm seeing strokes. So there is an intensity for strokes over the next 1 to 3 days or so, as there's it's about to get hot. These could be heat strokes, but I am picking up on more stroke cases, okay? And I'm also picking up on vomiting. There's going to be a lot of vomiting, a lot of sickness over the next 1 to 3 days or so as well. Now, that being said, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a legal professional of any sort, nor am I a financial advisor. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. However, if you know like I know, then you know, okay? I got to say that. Now, so I'm seeing that. So we're going to be seeing things being spewed up, okay? Spewed up. And this could be, the other day we saw blurt. And so we see things just being blurted out of people's mouths. This could be Tourette's. We might see something, hear something about somebody with Tourette's here over the next 1, possibly 2 days or so, because we had this energy enter in. So I definitely see somebody basically whistleblowing, telling stuff, blurting things out. And what we put out, we can't take back. So once it's out there, it's just going to be out there, my friend. Okay. I'm also seeing, something being going, fetched. Okay. Fetch. Okay. An instance here, since we're mixing pet with this energy, we can see like an owner throw something out, and it could be a stick that the owner throw out, and then there's a dog that brings back the owner a bone. Okay, so these are like instances that we can see when we mix this energy together of, basically the search energy that we had the other day, and then we have the pet energy here, and then we have the game of fetch. So the owner throws out this, and then all of a sudden the animal brings back something else. Now, I'm also seeing something about somebody being held captive. Okay, held captive. And I say that because I see somebody being bound up tightly. Okay, and with this bound up tightly and stab wounds coming in, I'm really seeing like people being held hostage is what I'm seeing. So there's hostage situations that could take place over the next 1 to 3 days or so here. And so I feel like somebody's being tortured right now here. And it's not good, okay? There's a lot of oh Lord, I'm seeing a lot of like poking and punching, and like shoving. Is like a lot of bully energy, but I'm also getting hind end type of energy as well. So that's where I was talking about. I feel like there's going to be like some kind of SAing or something along those lines, like a victim here that's being tortured. Here is what I'm seeing. Something coming in still about vaccines and injections. I'm seeing over the next 1 to 3 days, immunization is going to come up. Talks about immunization. I can't even say it. But injections. I'm seeing something coming in about that immunizations. Okay, did I get it then? But I'm seeing that. More specifically, we might hear talk coming up about booster shots. Um, it might be time for some people that's about that life to get their booster shots. But I'm seeing talk coming up about that and hypodermic injections as well over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Um, Still possibility for drowning incidents, shark attacks, drowning incidents, shark attacks. Okay, because I'm seeing a lot of surfing. Okay, I'm seeing some surfing activity, but I'm also seeing some splashing in the water, and so that typically that puts me in mind that okay, there's sharks in the water, there's drowning incidents. We're going to see stuff coming up about surfers as well over the next 1 or 3 days or so. I'm also seeing here there's a possibility for blowouts. There's there I just see blow, so that could also be drugs. Okay, but I just see blow, and you think about what it is that somebody could blow. Okay, um what is it, huff and puff and blow the house down, so to speak, the big bad wolf. So that's the energy really that comes in between later on today and tomorrow. I see the big bad wolf being a bully to the three little pigs, but then when it's all said and done, you know um yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Okay. uh, yeah. So a lot of, I'm going to say, police be on alert, authorities be on alert, because I'm seeing a lot of blood spatter. So this is could be a serial killer out and about as well. I'm picking up on something about bombing as well. It's still in the energy because we're in this end of the month, in the 6th month, in the ninth of the year. uh it's like I can't explain to you what I'm picking up on, and how I can't get it out. But I'm just going to say it's not time for play. Okay, I see rallies, I see protests over the next 1 or 3 days or so. This is what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing people taken to the streets. I still see this going on. Okay. I'm also picking up on something about Japan. So this people taken to the streets doesn't necessarily have to be in the US of A. This could be something that's happening overseas somewhere, but I'm definitely picking up on this energy. But we're going to hear something about Japan over the next 1 or 3 days or so. We're also going to um, something coming in about a wide mouth container. Oh, I think I know what that is. I feel like we're going to start hearing more about the Golden Dome. Okay, we might hear more about the Golden Dome. That's something that might come back up in the news over the next 1 or 3 days or so. Okay, a lot of artwork coming in as well. I'm seeing something about pottery, and you know what? I've been picking up a lot of ancient Rome. And I told you there was going to be excavations of stuff, things being found. And so we might hear something coming up about some kind of pottery from ancient Rome as well. And I'm also seeing the way things are being stored, like food storage, over the next 1 to 3 days or so. We might hear something coming in about food storage and how we can better store our food, but or basically being advised to store food, because right about now anybody can get it. You know what I mean? Right about now anybody can get it. Okay, so yeah, so you want to have go ahead and be storing up your food in a safe place. You can do like an earthen structure that's buried in the ground, so you know that, if something's get destroyed over here, you know where to find an additional stash of food for you and your family. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing: earthenware containers, pots, here. But I already told you about the urn. Okay. It's what I'm seeing. I'm also picking up on like something about drums, drumming. And so a lot of music I'm picking up on in the energy. And of course, it's Sunday, so there's going to be a lot of good singing today. And then it carries on because people are inspired and they keep singing. And so that's good. Okay. We want to inspire, we want to motivate, we want to continue to embrace the positivity here. Okay. Now, I said that, and then this is going to sound, a little bit like really, really Aurea, because I'm also seeing over the next 1 to 3 days, we're going to see something coming in about a shock. It's going to be things that are shocking for sure, but I feel like it's going to also be danger of electrical shocks. Okay. So if you're an electrician, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't touch live wires. If you're working on a home or whatever, make sure you cut the electricity off. Make sure everything is cut off. Okay. But that's what I'm picking up on. I'm seeing like an unpleasant physical shock or jolt. So this is what we'll hear in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. I'm also picking up on British sovereignty in India. This is Raj. We might hear something about an Indian Raj, or something coming up in the news or over the next 1 to 3 days about India here. I'm seeing something coming up about first class being rated first class. Okay. I'm seeing like talk about, like, can't nobody top this, can't nobody beat this, it's outstanding, it's exceptional. So I see, hand claps and kudos there. And I'm also picking up on something about chips, microchips. So we're going to start hearing news again coming back up about microchips over the next 1 to 3 days, manufacturing microchips here, and producing microchips as well over the next 1 to 3 days or so. And so I told you there's a lot of perv energy, okay? A lot of perv energy. So tomorrow it's interesting. And I still say keep your baby safe, because it's nobody's safe, okay, to a certain extent with this energy. So make sure prayers go up, okay? I'm seeing here something coming up about bread. Bread with a spongy texture. Oh, flour, okay? Something coming in about flour, okay? might be an issue over the next 1 to 3 days. This could have something to do with bread being found to cause certain types of bread being found to cause cancer. Now, I'm just throwing out like what I'm reading this energy, so I don't know if that's actually a thing. I'm just tying two and two together, right? Um, we might even have coming up because I have BAP, and so we might even have something coming up about Halle Berry, as you know, she was star in that movie BAP, and so we might see something coming up about BAP or something like that. BAP, BAP. I don't know what BAP is, but I know I heard it before. BAP. So that's going to end up being a thing here. So woman's breast, so breast cancer awareness, uh something we're going to hear more about women's breast cancer, things affecting women on the level of their mammary glands and stuff like that over the next 1 to 3 days or so here. Specifically, we're going to find out somebody's going to find out about a celebrity. I feel like is going to find out about their mother who is or might come public about their mother who is suffering from breast cancer here. I'm also seeing something coming in about something being so far off that, yeah, that's why I said I feel like some of this energy that I'm picking up is like overseas energy. So, a little bit of, oh, I know what that is. You know what it is? I told you yesterday that there's going to be talk about space, like going into space, outer space, that type of thing. I picked up on satellites yesterday, so we're going to be hear more about space talk over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Um, but I'm also seeing limits being put on things. This could be limits to the amount of bread you can buy at the store. But I'm seeing things being limited. And like it's like only up to a certain extent. So we talked about policy, right, and procedures that are going to come forth over the next 1 to 3 days, that we'll hear about in the news. But I'm also seeing some limitations when it comes down to those policies. I am seeing that some of those policies and procedures and bills, I feel like they're going to have challenges. They're not going to be a straight shot. Okay. I feel like there's going to be a lot of debate over it, a lot of talk over it, a lot of Democrat and Republican back and forth. I feel like that's going to be the case over the next 1 or 3 days, because I am seeing clashing of differences. So I don't feel like it's going to be a straight shot here. Okay. So I'm also I'm seeing uh something coming up to an Italian monk, or you see how I keep going to Rome, 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 a friar of some sort. Italy, Rome, Italy, Rome is what I'm picking up on in the energy. And so something coming up about Italy, something coming up about monks. I told you yesterday I kept picking up on Buddhism energy here. Sanskrit, ancient Buddhism. I'm picking up on stuff like this. So we'll hear about this stuff in the next 1 or 3 days here. I'm also seeing something coming in about weapons. Okay. People being beaten with sticks and poles. I'm seeing people being shanked. So prison guards, be on the lookout, because we had before, you remember I told you that Tory Lanez, when he got when they tried to take him out the last time, and I basically told you that that wasn't their only attempt, that wouldn't be their last attempt. So I don't know if that's going to be him again, but I'm just saying, prison guards, they need to be on a lookout. Again, they need to be doing their job and be where they need to be and not turn a blind eye, because I do see a lot of prison inside the prison activity. So going on here. And so, and okay, I'm seeing some obstruction still here. So things being stuck in places and stuff here. Okay. So I'm also seeing like beams. Y'all remember, it was a study, I think it was back in school, and there was this guy, and he ended up getting a beam. It was like stuck in his, it was like a rod, and it was stuck in his head. And it's like, but I think if my memory serves me correctly, I think he made it through that here. I think he survived through that. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I just remember that coming up. I'm seeing a lot going on about bars. Okay, bars, restaurants, bars. I'm picking up on a lot about bars. Okay. Oh, you know what? I see somebody's attorney being debarred. Okay, disbarred, debarred. This energy here is about certain people losing their credentials, in a sense, like they're going to be demoted, like in a sense that I definitely see an attorney being debarred or disbarred. I don't know the correct proper saying for it, but yeah, I'm seeing something coming up about the bar, but not just that, but also the bar, like the drinking bar. So we're going to see a lot coming up about drinks over the next 1 to 3 days or so. You know what? There's actually this situation here that I read about, and it's like talking about like this woman who went to Starbucks and she got a drink. And you know how they write your name on the drink? They wrote illegal on her drink. Okay, because she's like a Mexican, Hispanic woman, or one of the two, I don't know. But they wrote illegal on her drink as a joke, right? It's not a joke. And that's the type of stuff that we see over the next 1 to 3 days or so. People thinking something is funny that's not really funny. Okay. And so I told y'all Starbucks was coming up, didn't I? I told y'all I keep picking up on Starbucks. Starbucks. Coffee, coffee, coffee. All right. So that sounds like a lawsuit. Okay. But I'm not an attorney. All right. So I'm seeing something coming in about support. This is like what I told you about humanitarian acts and stuff like that. Refreshments, alcohol, Texas Roadhouse, or the Roadhouse. It don't have to be Texas Roadhouse, but something's coming about Roadhouse. And because when I see Roadhouse, I'm always thinking Texas Roadhouse. So something coming up about that. I'm also seeing stuff coming up about undergarments, women's bras, stuff like that, having to do with, like I said, the breast and stuff like that. We'll see in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. This could be women's bras found to be causing cancer. Okay. I'm just giving you ideas of what could come up in the news, because I read energy and I just be putting 2 and 2 together. Okay. I'm seeing something coming up in the news over the next 1 or 3 days about a buffet here. I told you about the strokes here. I'm picking up on something about some kind of player. Um, oh, it could be a popular sports player or some sports player that we find out about that ends up having a stroke. Okay, over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Okay, and so yeah, security. I'm picking up on security, and I would say, like I said, security, be on alert. No matter where you are, be on alert because the energy between today, tomorrow, and the next day is interesting. Okay. I'm also picking up on something, talk about market value, something coming up about market value over the next 1 to 3 days or so. We'll hear about in the news. Okay. Um, I'm also picking up on golf energy. I feel like in that a golf energy to play a hole in par. Um, I think that's golf. Okay. And so that's what I'm picking up. Rap. Okay. I'm getting rap culture coming in as well. So could also be a rapper that ends up having a stroke. This could also be a rapper that ends up being charged with something. And more specifically, I'm picking up scrap, and this could be a little scrappy, and I hope it's not because I think he was doing pretty good. So, um, but I am seeing something coming up about a rapper here, and that's why I'm talking about Tory Lanez, that we might hear some news coming up about Tory Lanez as well, because I'm getting, like I said, stab energy. I'm getting rapper. I'm getting somebody who's been charged. So it's likely somebody already in jail. Well, they haven't been sentenced that I know of, but they're already in jail. No, I am getting sentenced as well. Okay. And so I feel like putting two and two together with that, I feel like it might be Tory Lanez here. So I'm seeing people being knocked out, like I'm seeing loud bangs, blows, booms. I told you that. So a lot of like bomb threats and stuff like that, shooting incidents. I'm also seeing something coming up about Audible. We'll hear news over the next 1 to 3 days or so about Audible. Um, okay. Uh-huh. So, I told you I've been picking up on something about tap and phone taps and stuff like that. I'm also picking up on something like cracks. So there's likely to be like cracks and stuff. Cracks. I'm gonna revisit that crack, but at some time point in time, I saw a crack in a dam. All right, because I am getting um, water energy coming in. So, but I'm seeing cracks, things like being hammered and cracked. Okay, hammered and cracked is here, and this could be like a couple fighting, and one of them takes a hammer and starts beating them with that hammer. Okay, is what I'm seeing over the next 1 to 3 days or so here. But yes, that's the likeliness, because I am getting like a lot of like love affair, domestic violence energy here over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Um, okay. Okay. Impromptu um, is what I'm picking up on. So, like I said, a lot of comedic, humorous energy coming in over the next 1 to 3 days. Um, I'm seeing, all right, so for some of you, I'm seeing a yes. Okay. And I'm also seeing in the news, we're going to see some approvals to a certain extent. We're going to see some approvals, but we're also going to see some, um, some like on hold. I see some things being on hold, and delay does not mean denial here. I'm also picking up on something about Jamaica, Jamaica, iota, owls here, um, fig trees, Bitcoin. Okay, we're going to hear about that in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. Soccer is coming up in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. England is coming up in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Okay, I'm also seeing tomorrow's going to be a good day to work out. Tomorrow's going to be a good day to use up as much energy as possible, and today, so that you might be able to get some sleep. Because with all this energy coming up to a head here, sleep can be evading sometimes, child. And don't I know it? So here I'm seeing something. Um, yeah, Jewish energy is coming up here. I'm seeing something specific about July and August. July and August. And this is because I feel like this Mercury retrograde as well, from July 15th or so, July 17th to August 15th or August 17th or so. I don't know the specific dates, but I know it's like around July 15th or July 17th that starts. Okay. DNA, blood type, um, is coming up, specifically ABO, AB. Here, talk about antigens. I'm seeing talk about transfusions and transfusions needed. Blood pressure is a thing, you know, is what I'm seeing over the next 1 to 3 days. Um, here, someone needing a blood transfusion is what I'm seeing here. I'm also picking up on, I'm going to say, some gross things being found in some places it should not be found. And I'm going to leave that at that. Okay. Somebody by the name of Alberta. We'll hear about Alberta in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. Um, Arts energy is still coming up. College energy, students preparing for college or finding colleges and stuff like that. Um, I'm picking up on something about the abs. Like I said, workout energy coming up. Egypt, Egypt energy still in here. We'll hear more about Egypt. Um, I'm seeing stuff about um, like people being resuscitated, because I'm seeing survived after death. Um, so like it's almost like near death situations here. Okay. So yeah, like humanitarian acts, then people like really getting out there and being of service. And so I see rescues, like rest people being rescued here, and so they're going to get their claps. I feel like people are going to be clapping for them. I am picking up on uh like like a bird that I see human head and I see bird. So there's something significant about the human head and the bird. That might be an ancient hieroglyph in Egypt or something along that line. I think that's actually, yeah, that is the case. Horus. Okay, human head bird. Okay, Horus. We might hear something in the news over the next 1 to 3 days about Horus. A lot about automatic things, like this could be guns, automatic talk, chemicals. I'm seeing chemicals. So this is nuclear talk. We're going to still see in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. And I'm also picking up on metals and alkalines and stuff like that. A lot of chemical element talk over the next 1 to 3 days or so in the news. British Airways, and they are very specific to say British Airways. So something coming up in the next news over the next 1 to 3 days about British Airways. British associations over the next 1 to 3 days or so. I'm seeing advancement in science. Talk about that. Buenos Aires. We're going to hear talk about that. So with British Airways, this could be, like I saw the foam. So I see difficult plane landings and stuff like that over the next 1 to 3 days. And likely, very likely tomorrow. Okay, very likely between now and tomorrow, but tomorrow, this is very likely some kind of mass tragic event. Okay, it's very, very likely. All right, here. I'm also picking up on, yeah, radioactive activity. Okay, radioactive activity. So that's why I said this has to be the nuclear talk going on here. Iran, USA talks. Uranium is something that can come up in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. I'm picking up on something about Panama, Pennsylvania. These are places in the energy. It might be somebody named Pascal. We'll hear something about Pascal in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. I see press addresses, so I see public announcements and stuff like that. Like meet the press type energy coming in, PA systems and stuff here. I see something coming in about somebody's personal assistant. We're going to hear talk about a lieutenant governor here. We're going to see somebody by the name of Junior, or something coming in about Junior here. I feel like in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so, somebody's right hand man, okay, a henchman of some sort in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. That's why I said I see somebody being tortured right now. Remember I said that, and then I'm talking about a henchman, somebody's right hand man. I see somebody's being tortured right now, okay? All right, we're going to see more talk about there's gas explosion, stuff like that. So if you smell something off, contact the authorities right away. Don't strike a match for sure. Okay. Because I'm seeing like things being gassy. And talk about the Nobel Peace Prize. I feel like coming up, that I saw that they are thinking about nominating President Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Interesting. Okay. I'm also seeing something coming up about Arkansas here. I'm seeing something still coming in about augmented reality. This could be augmented reality paired with microchips. Don't know, okay? But that's what I'm seeing. And I'm still seeing something coming in about Pradesh, okay? Restrictions being put in place. I do see restrictions being put in place. I see impediments. So this is speech. I see speech impediments as we're getting closer to Mercury retrograde, which affects relationships, technology, and speech communication. Okay. Here. So we'll see a lot coming up in the news about that over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Okay. Some kind of divide here, a divide in a courtroom, a partition in a courtroom, like bills been passed over the next 1 to 3 days. Okay, yeah, literally. So I'm late because it already happened this morning, but it talks about that barista. So that's actually in the energy, but that's not it. We're gonna hear more about bar workers, baristas, and stuff like that. So you can expect that over the next 1 to 3 days. More talk about that incident over the next 1 to 3 days, and new incidents. I feel like coming forth here. Make sure you're fastening your seatbelts because there are is a potential for wrecks tomorrow, and like really, really, really fast-paced energy tomorrow. So the same thing I told you yesterday, it applies for tomorrow as well. And if you couldn't see my video yesterday, you would have to check YouTube or TikTok because I'm having a difficult time posting my videos on Facebook or loading them on Facebook. Here, the longer versions of them. I'm seeing things being blocked. I see a barricade. And so, like I said, with this barricade, you remember the other day I said I felt like I saw something that like something surrounded. So I feel like this is like a standoff with police or something like that over the next 1 to 3 days here. And so be prepared for delays and being prohibited from going to certain places, okay? Because I'm seeing prohibit, and then I'm also seeing bans, okay, here. And so more talk about that in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. So manage your expectations here. Okay. I'm seeing also things being omitted and leaving out. Okay. Things being omitted. We're going to be hearing talks about someone deliberately omitting something. And this could be that lawyer that gets debarred, loses their credential because they deliberately omitted something. Maybe they're padding cases or something like that. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm also seeing save for saving, save. Okay. More talks coming up about savings. So this is like, putting money back, saving food, this type of thing. Okay. And air pressure. So it could, if the wind picks up, then that means that it's going to rain here. So it's going to get windy. We are approaching hurricane season. So it is going to get windy in some places here. Because I did before I picked up World, but I don't think that's what it was that I was seeing. But yes, we are entering into hurricane season. But I love you, my friend. Gublet one. Hearts go out. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out. You take care of yourself. Bye.